There we go, so the... There we go. And the... Could you please... There we go. Yay! Now it's updated. I do also have a site up that's literally the difference between a good and a bad horror. It's just something I found on Facebook. It's literally like a little cartoon thing. It's like, here's the difference between good horror and bad horror. Bad horror is big and loud and wants to kill you. Good horror is quiet and frail, it doesn't kill you. In fact, you will kill it, just because it disgusts you. But here's the good thing about good horror. Here's the trick. It never dies. I can actually agree on that, because I don't have much jump scare things on my, like, stuff I have. Like, one example, I just don't know how loud this is gonna be, or if I even have it on here. Hold on. No, I only have hello there. It's like, most people have, like, big screams and stuff like that. Oh, god damn it, I cannot even show that now, because my voice mod is, like, broken. Well, that is at least still on. Ugh, okay. But yeah, like, I have instead, like, a clicker walking around, or the grudge sound getting closer and closer. Yeah, like, sometimes my voice mod is a bit of a pain in the ass, because the voice mod is up, but the screen is white, but... Well, I'm using voice... Am I using voice mod? No, I'm not using voice mod. Wait, hold on here. That probably explains why you couldn't hear it before. Wait a second. I just realized that. Yeah, I don't have that. So if I do this now...
Hello there.
Oh yeah, now you can hear that. I was like curious because it didn't change anything here, and I know that people, like, something happened there. Yeah, now you can hear that. So apparently I've just been using the mic, because last time my voice mod had absolutely crashed. It's still being a pain in the ass, and technically if I do change back, I can actually turn it off and turn it on again. If I could. It is stuck. Okay, I'm not gonna bother with that. I am not gonna bother with that. Also, you have to excuse me, but with thought of me doing voices for this game, I am gonna get myself something more to drink, because this is empty. There we go. It's not so difficult to go and fix something to drink for me, because I live in a student apartment right now, and well, it's about 17 square meters, so I take 3 steps to my kitchen right over there, get something to drink, back over here. That's like the best thing. Also, I would somehow get back into doing voices on a Thursday. That's something I'm very hard with, because I do love making voices for this, but to start with it is not the easiest. Luckily enough, I'm playing as the person I'm supposed to play as, so I don't need to do voice for him, because he is me. A truly exceptional young girl who's the author of a highly successful serialization here in London. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, as published in Rand's magazine. Wait, hold on, hold on. I am pretty certain I read that absolutely wrong. Randst. Okay. So, Mr. Naruhodo, won't you put us out of our misery? What surprised you this fine morning? Ah, well, I received a letter from Japan. Also, I cannot see the letter because it's behind this chat. Oh, from Susie, you mean? What is it, really? That's right. And she had some rather startling news, in fact. Oh, intriguing indeed. You must tell us about it over breakfast. Oh yes, what fun! Okay, so conversation. Miss Susato's letter, because last time we played as her because of him not being there and no one wanted to take the case because it had something to do with British people. Simply to put it, there is an alliance between Great Britain and Japan at this time in the era, and Japan believes it's so frail that if they would accuse a English woman for murder, or if a English woman would get killed for some reason, even a English man as well, then they could not actually let that go and they would not be able to do anything. So last time there was an Englishman that was killed by an English woman and they had to cover it up because they didn't want the English woman to get found out. Well, technically I don't know if they knew she did it, but they hide her away from there anyway. And this time instead, the same English woman was killed, and they had no one wanted to defend the person because, well, political matter. So great. Also, we're in Great Britain now, and guess what? They don't give a shit of where you are from. Ruling as ruling. Perhaps they actually should more or less take a note from that book. Oh, how lovely! Look at Susie's beautiful writing. I wish I could read it. And how is your juridical assistant faring, may I ask? She's very well, thank you. In fact, according to what she's written, she's actually appeared as a lawyer at the Japanese Supreme Court and won a case. Oh, really? Oh, isn't she wonderful? I do wonder if they actually know about women cannot be there technically, because she had to pose as a man. Why did I almost say that again? For some reason I said person again. Like, women cannot be there, men can. Simplest way of saying it. Why was I about to say person? What? That doesn't make sense. I got about your good self, my dear fella. Also, to say something clear, it's not my mindset of saying either a woman and a person. It's literally my grammar going directly to that for some bloody reason. Apparently, Mr. Natsume appeared in the trial as a witness. Natsume. No, I do not recall that name. Of course you do, we helped the man twice. The problem is, I don't remember the other case, because I know of one case, but when this chapter started, they talked about a case that started just after that. And that's so strange, because it was like forgotten from the first game, but because of story thing, it instead is in this game. So it's like they skipped a case in the first game. Ah, the mustache twitchy man, with a somewhat feline eyes and a mustache. He didn't have two mustaches. Wait, what? Oh, the mustached man, the mustache twitchy man, and the mustache. What? Why did he say two mustaches? What? Oh yes, how could I forget those two cases? They made a very deep impression on me. Apparently not, because you were about to forget it, mate. Although, I must confess, the details are a little hazy now. A very deep impression they made on you, clearly. I get the feeling it's like always forget stuff, even though he says he's always remembering them. So, what is this startling news? Penned by Mr. Sato. Do you remember the case of the haunted lodgings, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes, very interesting, you know. I don't feel entirely uncertain that case of that nature did not... I don't feel entirely uncertain that that case of that nature did not occur. Okay. Also, I think I know who did it this time, because it's kind of interesting, but we did see a outline of a person. And we have never seen that person before, except for one time in the first game, and that was in the between, like, scenes. It was nothing big, it was just, oh, two people in the middle of the road, let's talk to them, and they bolted off after a while. Like, you don't see them anymore under the game. So I guess it has something to do with them then. Mrs. Sato asked that we read over her case notes again and investigate further. Thought it took place half a year ago. For what purpose? Because of something that Miss Natsume said to her, apparently. He suggested that the real reason why she was called back to Japan so suddenly might have something to do with that case of the haunted lodgings. Oh. On Mr. Natsume's return to Japan, Mrs. Sato's father questioned him about the case, she says. And something Mr. Natsume said apparent to trouble Professor Mikotobak, prompting him to send that telegram. Oh, that case, yes. It was very strange, wasn't it? Yes, I do love they say that. It was very strange. I'm sitting here like, probably. I don't know. How could I tell? But then Hurley was all funny about it, remember? It was very mean. That story must not be published, you said. Very mysterious as well. Really? I said that. Are you sure? Do you perhaps know something about it as well, Mr. Sholmes? About why Miss Susato was suddenly told 4 months ago that she had to return to Japan? Hold on, is that really wrong spelled? Hold on, I am not fully English, just to stay clear with that, but I am, something is... No, it is a mouth. They literally misspelled it, okay. So it's just me, not me being an absolute idiot reading that wrong. It literally says 4 mouths. Okay. Okay, I just wanted to stay clear with my own mind if I was wrong right there. Yeah, there we go. Now it actually spells right. It's been 4 months since we made Susie off at Dover. It was such a shock, wasn't it? The way she just suddenly announced that she had to go back to Japan. Indeed it was. Due to a telegram received from her homeland, I believe. That's right, telling her to return urgently. Ah, yes, because her father had passed away. No, he was sick, but... apparently he wasn't sick at all. He just said he was suffering from a high fever, the cause of which was unknown. He's not dead. But according to this letter, that news about her father's fever was just a ruse. A ruse? So Susie's daddy lied to her so that she'd make the voyage back home. Oh, hold on. Ooh. Why would she do that? I have to admit, I have absolutely no idea. But she believes it almost certain related to the case of the haunted lodgings. I can agree there. It's like she's adorable. What's not adorable is how many gun-like things she has. Like, she has one thing that she calls a cat flap maker. That's literally is like a saw thing that can saw through a door and make a cat flap. And it also has like a hand of a gun. She has a big bazooka-like thing. And I know she gave Gina Lestrade, a smoke grenade launcher. So, yes. Absolutely. Hurley, do you know what it's all about? Yeah, like, the first time we met her, we didn't know who she was, because we just came back. The day after, we had to go to a trial, and we learned about Gina. Gina had this grenade launcher in her hand, and literally, this girl comes in like, there you are. You managed to somehow take our little project. And like she just have the little grenade launcher like ready to just launch it. Yeah, exactly, Sholmes. Instead of Sherlock Holmes, it's just Herlock Sholmes. Dr. Watson is called Wilson in this one, and unfortunately he is no more. And Wilson's daughter is Iris. And instead of Constable Lestrade, Constable G. Lestrade, whatever it's called in the Sherlock series, we have Gina Lestrade instead. But yeah, so she literally was ready with a smoke grenade launcher because she needed to run away from there. And in comes Iris. I'm like, oh, you really have that thing? I have something that's like twice bigger than I am. Like, the hell did you get that thing from? But yes, this has a lot of Sherlock Holmes things, which is actually fun. Also a lot of puns. We had a person last Tuesday called Rayton Many Memo, which is just more or less a pun of written many memos, because he was a journalist. We had a Russian sailor called Beef Stroganov, which just is beef stroganoff. So there are so many like puns in this game sometimes. And a stringent analysis of the matter. Also, when did you actually get your cape on? You didn't have that for like a moment ago. Jesus, you're fast. I didn't even realize. So, man the fourth in my absence, won't you, Iris? I will, Hurley. Don't worry. See you later. Yes, we didn't know before. We had to try and figure out why he was living together with this girl, but they weren't related. But then we realized that her father is literally Wilson, which was the partner and friend of Sholmes. So that more or less made more sense than just somehow this girl managed to somehow find the first best person to live with. Like, okay, that makes sense. I think perhaps Professor Miko Tobak isn't the only person hiding something here. Soseki-san was involved in 2 cases, but only one of them was forbidden from being published. By of all people, Mr. Sholmes. He has 2 Wait, when did we talk about... No, that was that one there. Okay, I'm trying to figure something out, because in the last case, I think, of Gina Lestrade, we managed to know about an unpublished thing called The Hound of Baskerville, that apparently Susato knew the name of, but never read, because it was never published. But that was after the 2 cases, I believe. I do wonder if that is the case, or if this is another unpublished case. Ah, I found them at last. Iris, or are they... The notes about the case, that's right. Susie, I compiled them together. The case of the haunted lodgings. Do you want to read them, Runo? Absolutely. Thank you, Iris. I have no idea what secret would still be hiding in the shadow of this case. But perhaps if I read over the notes again, something might come into light. And there's her small gun. That's the small thing. She has a small, she has given away the medium, and she has a large one as well. Technically, they're not really guns, but they do shoot something. Most of the time she uses that thing to shoot something that causes blood to turn a different color depending on who it comes from. And so, Iris and I decided to read over the case notes again together. Everything from what happened to our investigation and that fierce battle in court that followed. Reliving every detail. I just need to find a clue. And all I have... all the time in the world. Because, of course, I'm not longer allowed to practice law in the court of Great Britain. Okay, what happened since 4 months ago? Yo? 4 months ago was the last game. because we did a case to save Gina Lestrade. We said goodbye to Susato and got a telegram about some names that apparently all is dead, which is one of our friends as well. But what happened? What happened in between those 4 months that caused it so you cannot practice law anymore? Excuse me? How? I do love that it does not explain anything about 4 months in between these two games. Because this is the second case of the game, but this is more or less to actually do more of the story. The first case is more or less like a tutorial with a continuous story thing. But like, what the hell? It was 6 months ago, a mysterious incident that unfolded on the winter streets of London. Yeah, this one I know of. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. It's like, yeah, we're saying goodbye. That was around 4 months ago or something. And after that, yeah, I can no longer practice law. Eh? What? Wait, what? Yeah, I think she's fine. Because she did have a knife in her back, but she was just collapsed. She wasn't dead. And apparently no one was the murderer. Someone was just... Hold on. Why am I eating these while I'm actually streaming? They have like some... I don't know, caramel in it. I cannot speak while eating those. But yeah, there was apparently a fierce battle between a man, the wife, and the husband. And... let's easily say a knife went flying out the window. And apparently this woman here was unfortunately unlucky to literally catch it with her back. Yeah, no, I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's soft caramel. It's like this kind of soft caramel. I know it is. It's not that often I buy these. I sometimes buy crisps. Sometimes I buy candy, but it's like perhaps once a week, perhaps once per second week, something like that. Well, she didn't die, which was luckily at least. But who knows? Perhaps you could, perhaps you couldn't, but she didn't. By cruel twist of fate, a visiting Japanese student was walking behind her at the time and was dully arrested. Yeah. This twitchy man. That man was Susaki-san. And the man who affected his arrest was Mr. Sholmes. Believing in our compatriots' innocence, Susato-san and I decided to represent Susaki-san in court. And after a grueling trial of many twists and turns, we finally managed to prove his innocence. And he always does that. But yeah, it could be a very cruel turn of fate, just of fate, if one of the jurors there was not one of the people that was involved. Japanese people in a nutshell. Oh, good god. Especially this person. Like, holy shit. There is one that is kind of like him. But it's a British person that's like, I don't know. I get the feeling it's like dancing ballet each time you're doing something. It's like striking poses. But not like that guy. He literally is like swan dancing around whenever he does something. Twirling. He literally actually twirled away from the cops. Someone had a good comment in the chat about that, but I completely forgot what it was. Yeah? Yeah, I am in the Moonlit Yakuza. Absolutely, I got... The funny part is, I wasn't really expecting anything like that, I'm gonna be honest. Because I was in Stockholm for a visit last year, in... around the time when I actually was invited, and well, there was a long day. Well, who knows? But like I say, they're very strange people in the team, but they're lovely people. I have talked and played with few of them. I have at least talk to them through team chat and stuff, to Discord. I can say they are lovely people. But yeah, it was kind of fun because I was checking out a exhibit where a few of my photos were shown digitally in Stockholm. And I was so tired after that I went to the hotel and just rested. I just get a message on Discord. Hi, you're invited to the team from Miss Valkyrie. I just laying there like half dead, like, oh, that's nice. Just lay down my phone, like, wait, what does she mean by team? Like, I'm just laying there confused, like, huh? Wait, what do you mean by that? And then I just checked more, and apparently I was invited to the Twitch team. I'm gonna be honest, that came down like a bombshell. I did not even think that would happen, but I'm so glad for that. I have met so many great people through that team. It's so fun also to watch them stream now. It's so fun. I'm trying to assist them as much as I can. And especially now when I'm studying from home, because we gotten the restrictions again. I literally just have 1 or 2 streams up in the background here while I'm working. They're great people. It's fun that actually I've learned to know some of them. We're like many people there as well, so trying to learn everyone right now, it's not the easiest. Especially for me, because often when they're doing stuff or when they're streaming stuff, I am a person that never is gonna ask for like anything. It's like I'm never asking for an invite or stuff like that. But most of the time I just do chats through Discord because that's where I can talk to them the most. But it was fun. So I have learned to know Dariel quite a lot through there. And thanks to Dariel, I've learned to know Yoko Pokomo through there, and I've not learned to know Nia, but I have been in their stream a lot, especially when Dungeons & Dragons is on, because it's hella funny to actually watch that. Alright, this is the past. I was like, you cannot be here. Yeah, Dariel is he is supposed to be in the team. Wait, hold on. If he is not, then something has changed, because I do know that he was in the team. If he's still not in the team, then I don't know what is going on, but I'm pretty certain he is. We have like 84 members as well. Oh shit, there we go. Why don't do that this instead? Can check through here instead. Yeah, it says in, oh come on, could you stop doing that? There we go. So yeah, if you go about the about section, it actually says Mundi Yakuza. So we are actually the same team. That's how I learned to know him, and that's how I learned to know Miss Yoko Pokomo. And I'm gonna be honest, I am so glad I learned to know those two. Those two are great people. I enjoy chatting with them in their streams. I enjoy playing some games with them. I just enjoy their streams in general. It's fun. I'm so glad to be in the team. Your telegram only arrived at 5 o'clock, Mr. Sholmes, and it's some 20 something. But yes, he is. Sometimes a bit difficult to know, because sometimes people don't have this thing. I wanted to have that there because I do like the team. I know some have and some doesn't, depending on their setup, but yeah, it's absolutely fun. And hopefully there hasn't been any changes. Hold on, because there might be a special stream on Sunday for me, but it's technically I think it is fine. Yeah, 22nd. So it's gonna be a collab stream the 22nd, 6 PM in PST time, which I am uncertain what the real name, the whole name for that is. But it's around 6 in the morning for me on Sunday. But that's gonna be fun. There was a collab last December as well, but unfortunately, saying unfortunately is not really fully a good idea as well, because I was at home celebrating Christmas, so that it's fun. It's always nice to be with the family with Christmas. Yeah, time zone sucks. I can agree with that completely, because I can see some of my team members' chats and other teammates' chats, but like streams, I mean, my head. Well, I guess we actually are in the same time zone, because that is the time here as well. We are literally in the same time zone. It is 6 p.m. for me here as well. Is this the lady who found... Oh, that's the lady. Her name is... yes, here we are, Miss Green. Well, I am using Central European time. What I understand. Because I think like my time is like GMT +1 or something. But I know there is like a CET time as well. I'm curious. What the... I'm gonna have to check here. Like... Central European time is 1809. Yeah, so I'm using the CET time. The GMT time is technically 5. I most of the time actually use the GMT +1 time, but I learned after a while we actually had the Central European time. So I started using that one instead, because it was much more easier than to say 1 time +1 and just doing 1 time, this is it. Good morning. Oh god, new person. Shit, how am I supposed to do a voice for this one? Hello, I'm Ryunosuke Naruto from the Empire of Japan. Also, even the Naruto is actually a pun. I didn't know that first, but I think someone in chat did say that it meant something. And what I understand... They're probably shy or worried. I'm a bit uncertain. But Naruto means more or less like I see, as in I understand. Like now I get what you mean. I do love that though, all the puns sometimes. Oh no! Was it your knife that... Are you the man who... Exactly, I understand. No, I'm a lawyer. And I'm Susato Mikotobak. Pleased to meet you. And yes, the K in the end is my thing, because tobacco is tobak in Swedish. And if they're called Mikotobak, I just feel of saying Mikotobak. Oh no, was it your knife then? Are you the one? Oh no, I assure you. I'm Miss Naruhodo's juridical assistant. We heard that you regained consciousness and we wanted to come to give you your best wishes. Best wishes for me? Thank you. I'm Olive Green. I'm an artist. Well, no, that's not right, is it? What I mean is, I'm trying to be an artist. Well, what I really mean is, I desperately want to be an artist. Holy crap, can you please make up your mind? But the truth is, I don't have any talent. I know I don't. It's just a practice. Even though I myself can say that I'm shit, and I say to myself to practice, I don't do so much practice myself. I can still say, just practice, it will get better with time. I don't think that's related, actually. Gosh, this young woman seemed to bend over backwards to put herself down. Yo, hi Turtle Girl! Welcome to the stream! So if you're wondering why I'm playing this game now, it's... Yeah, exactly. At least you're doing your best. That's the thing. You can get better by learning and by training, but there are also the thing that physically or mentally you're capable of doing a certain limit, and at least as someone does the best they can do. That's the like that is always good. But yeah, well, I'm fine. I am fine. I'm done some schoolwork today, chilling a bit because trying to do programming a whole goddamn day sometimes is absolutely... Yeah, exactly. I ran out of ideas because I didn't have anything planned, and the last game ended in about half an hour. So, yeah, I'm playing this game because I ran out of ideas. I had no idea what to do, and I did not plan for this. I really hate when I don't plan for this. So, to explain something what you have missed here, we have to check back to a case that happened after we defended our Japanese friend. But apparently there was a case after that we didn't know. A murdered soul suspect. You know, where we were the ghost trying to figure out our own death. But yeah, apparently there was a case in between the last case and the Japanese fellow case that we never did, because we're reading the book about it now to figure out what we're missing, because Susato says that it has something to do with this case. Also, apparently in between the 4 months between these games, I am not allowed to practice law anymore in Britain. And I don't know why. You're literally like, oh, I have all the time in the world because I cannot practice law anymore. Like, wait, hold on. When did that happen? Oh, nice. It's good to be finished with exams and stuff. Something I kinda hate, I don't know why, I guess it's just my personality, is to like check what I get for grade. It's like each time I get a mail like, oh, we have now sent the grade to this website where you can check what you got. I just sit there like, fuck, I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to know what it became. So sometimes I literally just have to grab my own bloody neck and just pull me through it. Which is good, because all the last ones I did get from all the grades, I actually got a good grade. Well, passing grade, because we only have passing. So that's good. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to do the whole programming shit. Jesus. Yeah, at least they're done. Oh. It's always nice to be done with one, because then you can at least breathe out for a moment. Are you yet to hear what happened, Mr. Green?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A gentleman from the police force supposed to be coming to fill me in shortly. Me coming around seems to have made everyone frantically busy. I'm sorry, I should never have regained
Oh, Jesus. I get the feeling of that last person that owned the pawn shop. Pawnbrokery, because... Holy crap. Because the last guy thought the best way of defending his work and his pawnbrokery was to use a gun. His own gun on himself. That was not what happened, but let us easily say we had a lot of images about him pointing it at himself.
Oh, no, I shouldn't possibly claim that. I'm a fledgling artist at best. I mean, I'm a student of art, really. At the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts.
I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm not fully as she is, but I can sometimes be the same thing. when I say something, because I can never see myself as an expert or as... Oh yeah, I have seen the rat before. I have seen that. I saw that before. I just let it be there. I think the mouse that the Russian dude holds sometimes is much more adorable than that one. But yes, there are sometimes whenever like do something or claim something, I never can say that, yeah, I know this because I've learned about that. I can say something I know, but then it's like, yeah, technically what can I say, because I haven't even done that for long. Like sometimes I even commented on some games like, oh, this is probably how they did that and how they do that, because I study how to make games and stuff. But British people. But yeah, so like even after I say something like, I'm just like, why do I even say that? Like, it's not like I've done this for years. 1 year, yes, but I can never call myself good at something if I'm gonna comment something. I can do something and it can be good, it can be bad, but I cannot like commenting anything else because I don't feel I am appropriate master of that sort of thing. Brixton is some 10 stops away from the underground from here. And Thorndyke Academy is a mere 3-minute walk from Brixton town centre. Does that matter, Mr. Sholmes? Perhaps not, but Briar Road is far less salubrious part of town by comparison, dwelt in by those of inferior means. Oh. Including the maleficent Mr. Mustache. We already... inferior, Jesus. It struck me as somewhat out of the ordinary for a young fine art student to be walking in such district. That's all. There we go. What's this? She suddenly clamped up. So I mean, she's like both shy and like worried about something. Mr. Sholmes, you should be ashamed of yourself, prying into a young maiden's private affairs. Oh dear me, do forgive me.
If you don't mind, I'm being discharged shortly, so I need to pack up my things.
So this is literally just after the other case. Fucking hell, I'm trying to remember. The only thing I know is that we talked with the father and the friend. The father never was sick when she came back home. And apparently the father had withheld some information about something because the Rayton Manny memo came jumping in and just said that something was like hidden in... Some information was needed to be leaked and stuff because they have hidden the truth about something. About the person that was supposed to go to Great Britain, about his death. So what I understand, no one in Japan knows that our friend is actually dead. It's just like hidden away. And before he could say more about that, the judge came in, throwing him to the floor. And that's more or less how that ended. Then we came to this and started some breakfast with a letter from Miss Susato. Oh, sorry. For some reason I won't like click those buttons. Oh, there we go. Wrong button. Yeah, I think you left just by the trial's end, and then the like 30 minutes was mostly just talking. Like talking and starting the next case. Yeah, this looks like the treatment notes for whoever is occupying this bed. Let's see. Do not permit to run around the hospital. He has already left. Fuck, why do I... Why do I remember that story? So, we used to watch a show, and I don't remember the name of it. But it was like bizarre hospital stories. Sometimes fun, and sometimes odd. And there was one where they needed to take, like... well, my first thought was like, do not permit to run around. It was just empty. I just thought like, oh yeah, he is long gone somewhere. Also, if you see me do this sometimes, because the chat is like half of the way there, so just trying to figure out where I'm trying to go and stuff. Should we go back? Let's go back here. But one of them, they tried to take a urine sample of a person. And this guy was like, he was nuts. I don't know if he was mentally sick or if he was just sick, but there was a lot of like, the government is gonna know my ID after reading my DNA from the urine and stuff like that. So they have like gotten him a lot of chocolate puddings and stuff, and a lot of that. So there was also apparently in between here, one of the head nurses was like, you cannot be so kind about patients. You have to like do this and do that. So you just try to get in and force him to actually give them the sample. So apparently just like someone called her out and everyone just started applauding like, oh yeah, finally someone talking shit about the person that apparently should not be allowed to do anything. But the funniest part about this is that they lost the dude. They got in there, they thought he was under the blanket and lifted it up. And underneath was empty chocolate pudding cups. They didn't have not any idea. Yeah, this is real. This is fucking real. This is real hospital stories. So they asked like the guards and stuff like, have you seen him? Is he like on anywhere on this place? So they literally just checked the cameras, and there is a fucking naked man covered in chocolate pudding as a disguise trying to flee the hospital. He's like running around straight up covered in chocolate pudding. And the guards is just running after him, just slipping of every chocolate pudding puddle that is just left behind. I look so fucking stupid. Oh, I don't remember what it's called, but I know it is like, this is about real stories, because as I said, some of these are like, these are real, and some of them are like more bizarre. Like someone came in after running, and like for some reason I feel like this, they had no idea why that was. And apparently a doctor that apparently has done stuff before just realized like, oh, it's because you do this. And we didn't notice that before because we didn't know about your medicine before. So that was just like, that was so stupid. Like, oh, we lost a person. Where exactly is... Oh, also, I just see that this thing actually looks like her a bit. I was just like a guy running around in chocolate pudding. Like, what the fuck was that? Also, the way the guards trying to... Like, I'm not joking. It looked like some sort of mud wrestling after a while. Everything was just covered in chocolate pudding. Oh my god. It's an artist mannequin, I believe. Used when practicing sketching the human form in the different poses. Really, it's not exactly what you call typical figure for that purpose, though, is it? No, I suppose not. I confess I've never seen one quite so full-figured before. Well, if you want to draw a full-figured person, it's the right tool for the job. I actually got like one of those mannequins through a drawing kit, but it was so like janky made that you could have it like this, and the arm... Hold on, I'm just gonna see if you can hold my arm. The arm could be bent like this. That was all. If you bent it like this, the spring would just pull it back there. So that wasn't really like the best mannequin for the job, to be honest. Not at all. Look, there is a photograph in the frame. Oh, I don't know why I made her voice. Look, there is a photograph on the frame in the frame here. Oh, who's that? Probably the boyfriend. Oh yes, it's a picture of a young gentleman. It looks to be around the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, do you think?
My. Miss Naruto, I didn't know you had sense of matters of the heart.
Yeah, it depends on, because they are like those kind of expensive ones where you actually can bend them better than you could anyway. But this was like just a wooden thing, and was like, it was rather piss. Narufodder. Apparently I'm called Narufodder. Well, if you're looking for Naruto, the lawyer, that's me, but... Ah! Mr. Naruto fodder! Narufodder! This is for you. It's a message from Mr. Saucy Nutmeg! What the f... Saucy Nutmeg! Miss Natsume sent a message to me. Wait, oh, that's how he says it. That's why I wanted to call him the nut guy. I was like, why would, like, sometimes I actually continue to call him the nut guy. And I just like, wait, why did I call him the nut guy? And apparently it's because they say he's called Saucy Nutmeg. Ah, Mr. Natsume sent a message to me. I do love, like, oh, now I know what you're saying. Also, if you didn't notice, this is like the costume she can wear if you turn it on.
But why would a policeman be delivering a message from Mr. Natsume?
Exactly, what's going on? Because he has been in prison twice. I know he said that in the last case. And this is the second one. What are you waiting for? Let me see that. Also, I did lose track of what the hell I was talking about. Well, this is most unexpected. Is something wrong, Mr. Sholmes? There's something wrong, Mr. Sholmes, he says. Have you not seen this note? No, how could I have? It would seem that London's criminals have no intention of letting the great detective rest. A new case called, a case of murder, no less. We must depart at once. Murder? So apparently I also have a costume on the guy I'm playing as. Should I, by the way, have a costume on Sholmes? I can actually have a costume on Sholmes. Call a cab. It's time. Time is of the essence. But I technically don't like it. I am actually gonna show the costume. But I don't like it, really. Hold on, I have to go back to the title for this, so I need to save. So I can show you the costume. Whoops. Yeah. Already saved, don't worry. I did that for a safety reason. That's why I'm calling save. Okay, special content. Loading. Taylor, there we go. So this is the one I have, and I did realize I have a mouse on my shoulder, which is absolutely adorable. But if you want, I can let Sholmes wear this. I myself do not like it. But if you want him to have this, I am well up for game to letting him have that. Okay. I was just curious if you wanted or not, because I myself did not like it. I like the other twos, but not that one. Memories of the Clouded Kokoro. So this is literally not a real time thing. This is like in between cases from the first game. So just reliving a moment.
Convenient. What do you mean?
It's all here in the notes, my dear fellow. The murder we must investigate took place at the Mr. Mustache lodgings. Wait, what? Again?
I'll hail fears at once. Fears?
Did I even say that right? Fears? And the very next day, there's a murder at the man's own address. Yeah, like, Jesus. Or so it seems. That we were soon to discover it was worse than we thought. I do love the poor man, like, Jesus. I shouldn't. I'm gonna eat this instead. I have plop, which has caramel in it, and it's like so difficult to speak. So I'm gonna take this instead. I have some crisps. Oh, Quatch is playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Nice. So I have some crisps. I have Lin's crisps. I don't know what Lin's is in English. It's like some sort of bean. I have garlic, chives, and chili. At first the chili wasn't really noticeable. Now it is. Oh. I know that guy. So, we saw this guy in the last game, but only briefly, while looking for witnesses to speak to. So, technically I don't know who this is. We have seen him alive. I thought this guy was the murderer, but apparently not. What on earth?
Oh my, the gentleman is deceased without question. Is dead.
That's technically what deceased mean. It's Natsume. Mr. Nut Guy. Oh, why? Why is this happening? Why to me? I've only just got out of court yesterday. I was finally home after 2 days of misery. And then I wake up next day to this. No early bird should catch a worm like this. Yeah, there's not much wiggle in that worm. Ah, I see your high spirits again this morning, Mr. Mustache. Not a horrible Herlock Holmes. Show yourself the door. I never invited you.
Someone came here with us. I'm quite sure you're able to help you, Mr. Natsume.
I'm entirely at your disposal, Mr. Mustache. What can I do for you? He doesn't like Sholmes whatsoever, and I can't actually sense the chili right now. And here you are, Mr. Gregson, which I know is a half bad guy. Well, technically I'm not a half bad guy. He did a good for a good reason, but fuck that reason. Here they are already, the busybodies. Ah, Inspector Gregson, what a pleasant surprise. Pleasant, is it? Gives me the heartburn every time I see your face at crime scene, Sholmes. I deduce, Inspector. As your heartburn is a result of your excessive consumption of fried food. You should try an air fryer. I'm gonna be honest, the air fryer is the best bloody thing I ever bought. I'm using it so often, and it's so great. I don't know if I have said that, but I had actually made myself a homemade fish and chips. I actually did that. This is a crime scene. Do not touch anything. Or good morning to you too. That's pretty simple. I just literally took a trout. What's it called? Trout? I don't remember. But took that, some eggs, dumped it in the egg, dumped it in crumbled bread, egg again and bread again, just to make it more on it. I forgot flour to more or less make it stick on there, but it didn't matter fully. Cooked it for about 10 minutes, 200 degrees in the air fryer. Fucking hell, it was so good. The thing is though that eating that kind of fish and chips is actually fried in oil, which causes it to actually get some flavor. So eating it through an air fryer, it's good. I can tell you that like fish and chips through an air fryer is good thing, but it was rather bleak in taste for some reason. Well, I know the reason why. No oil. I did tell my father I might try to spice it next time I do it, and he just got shocked. Also, it's not that I'm gonna try and spice it with like all weird ass spices and stuff. I just want like some sort of taste, like I don't know, some extra salt, perhaps some pepper, stuff like that. Not like I don't know, $100 spice or something. Jesus. But it was worth it. It was absolutely bloody worth it. Oh, I think I'm gonna try and do like chicken sticks tomorrow. I'm gonna just cut the chicken into sticks. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna air fry that. Air fry some chips, and I'm gonna just pour some little dip on top. Not dip on top of it. Like I don't know, something on it, and it's like, oh, it's gonna probably be so great. It's so fun how I actually eat stuff that often used to be fried in oil, and it's so much more healthier now. And it's tasting so goddamn good as well. So, did you know the victim? Where your friend? Something tells me not. Absolutely not. I should not eat this by now, because I need to drink more juice because of the goddamn chili in this. I should stop. Well, suppose he wasn't a complete stranger, but he did ever invite me to his room? Never. On my honor, I swear it. Okay. I'll take you by your word, and I need to drink juice again because holy crap. Just to be able to get rid of the chili thing. Jesus. What an extreme reaction. You're probably wishing you'd never asked now, aren't you, Miss Naruto? When we found him in here, I felt wretched. That is why I sent word asking you to come. Through that inspector over there. Wait, is he... he did say he was, like, arrested twice and stuff like that, so... Please, let me not hear that he is actually a fucking suspect. He was actually... Oh, wait, don't tell me don't tell me call upon us because you need another lawyer. Oh, fucking hell. So, Inspector, what's the victim's name? Who was he? There's the William Shakespeare. Hello, Shakespeare. Okay. He was a lodger here. As you may probably tell, he's an actor. A bit of a dead loss, as it happens, or... Well, just dead now. Mr. Shakespeare? It was the landlord, old Mr. Garrideb, and the other lodger, Mr. Natsume, who found him. The fella didn't rise at his usual hour, so Mr. Garrideb got worried and kicked the door down. But doesn't Mr. Garrideb have a bad leg? Oh yeah, you're right there. It was that jittery Japanese hunchback over there who actually did the kicking. Really? The victim was pretty hard up, it seems. Even done some time inside for her petty crimes. He had no money, no place to go, and no friends. His only acquaintances were the people in this house. Miserable life, and a miserable end to it. Oh god, could you please be less heartless? So, what exactly is Mr. Natsume still doing here? He's not involved in the investigation, so shouldn't you have sent him away from the crime scene? Well, I'm not saying it because the fella looks odd or anything, or that he acts suspicious. But I thought it would be prudent to take a statement from the culprit, I mean, cohabiter. Screw you! You nearly said culprit there, didn't you? Why does... it's as I said last time. In Japan in this game, everyone doesn't want to point finger as a British person because they're trying to hide it. They're trying to help them because they don't want the little alliance to go... Well, the big alliance, technically. To go bad. And here's literally just... Yeah, he's Japanese. Just throw him into the fucking prison. Like, oh my god. Like... If anyone in Japan would hear about that, would they do anything, or would you say, "Oh yeah, take them. We don't need them." Jesus, it certainly seems that way. He just come across as such an odd fellow, doesn't he? A poor man. How unfortunate. Anyway, I can't say much until the coroner gets here. But I don't think the fella's been gone that long. The body's still warm. Even if the inspector would allow it, I don't think I could bring myself to touch a dead body. Sorry, I just hear some creepy ass singing from the YouTube I'm watching in the side here. What the hell what is she playing now? Hold on, I'm just curious what's actually up there now. Okay, yeah, it is Made of Skier. I have seen her play that, so I thought it was that. I was just heard like a woman's voice singing, like kind of creepy, and like, what the hell is that? Okay, let's. Yeah, it still has that on. What's that? Boy, I said hands off. You're gonna mess up my crime scene. No, I just wanted to look, that's all. No chance. I know you're kind. You mess up just by looking at it. I really don't like this guy sometimes. There's certainly some bad air in here, isn't there? Yeah, Gregson. Oh, it sounds like I'd better talk to Inspector first. Wait, can I even do that? No, I cannot. I'm trying to, but apparently... I have talked to him, what the hell? I've already spoken to him. Okay, that's interesting. Wait, what's that about there? Do you see that back there underneath the king costume? There's something laying on the floor there. And yes, like I'm literally like my camera is mirrored, so whenever I look to the right, it's like it's left for you. But I'm gonna be honest, I do look like Susato's costume. It absolutely is a cute costume. Okay, so I'm not allowed to touch anything, but like, oh, apparently it's a part of him. What the hell? Okay, so I cannot touch anything here. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. Oh, I cannot touch anything. So it doesn't matter if I do anything. Everything has the same sort of air. Brilliant. Wait, hold on. Is there an... Also, I'm gonna be honest. As I said, I have the chat up in the left side. I did not see Sholmes over there. Yo, Sholmes, what the hell are you doing up there? Why are you striking a pose? Hello? Ah, you need only to observe to know it, my dear fella. Investigating, naturally. It looks like you're trying to run, like a mime or something. There's nothing natural about that pose. There is not. Mr. Sholmes, have you made some miraculous discovery? Patience, my dear madam, patience. We've not been here in this room 5 minutes. So far, all I managed to deduce is what actually happened. Be patient. I haven't really realized much in here, except for what actually happened. Like, are you having a laugh? That's more or less what we actually need to know. But isn't that everything we need to know, Mr. Shaw? Exactly what I said. Now that you propose the idea, I believe one could, indeed, see it that way. At the present time, I have managed to draw two incontrovertible conclusions. The first, that there was a physical struggle here last night in which the victim fought for his life. There is not. Is Natsume, is there? Mr. Nutmeg? Is something that Mr. Sholmes said significant somehow? No, don't mind me. Forget I was here. My second conclusion is that there was a poison lingering in the air here last night that passed the victim's lips. You are twitching like hell, and also that might explain what you knew about why you said that poison was your nemesis in the last case. Alright, Miss Natsume, why are you reacting so extremely to Mrs. Shon's deductions? No, please. Pretend I'm not here. Could you please not? Impossible to ignore.
You must tell us everything, Mr. Sholmes. Spare no detail.
But of course. Let the theatrical tragedy before us unravel by my great deductions presented for your pleasure in 2 acts. Oh, it's gonna be one of these things. Is it just me, or is it very quickly this one came forth? Last time I had to like deduce a lot of things myself, and then this guy came in and just, hello, let's do this now. I'm pretty certain this came up quite fast, actually. I really want to take a quiz, but my tongue is gonna burn. Cause of death. Careful observation of the victim reveals us that the event that transpired in the disconsolate room last night. Foam at the mouth of the deceased clearly indicates the use of poison. Next to the victim we notice a large dining plate which contains, you will observe, 1/2 of a size bar of soap. Why? Soap? Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the fork reveals the answer. I do love Natsume just staring at the camera like, what the fuck is this guy saying? It appears that the young man's appetite was his undoing. Taking up arms in the form of his cutlery, the victim engaged in a deadly battle for his life. Yet the struggle against his hunger was in vain. For the end, he couldn't resist devouring the slippery feast. But London's foul soap is diminished by foul poison. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the content of the plate. The soap and the lather about the young man's mouth are too perfect to match to ignore. I think it might be the tea. It kinda looks like butter, actually. I was about to say butter before. Either butter or cheese. Mostly butter, actually. But to hear he actually said that it was soap, I'm just like, why the hell? But then again, why would he be eating butter either? Well, if it didn't have that much money, I can understand if you just get a big clump of butter to eat. But a soap? Like, what the fuck? Was this suicide or was this murder? Like, I myself would not eat just butter. That would be absolutely bloody disgusting. But like, I can understand if you're gonna choose either between butter and a soap. I would at least say it would be butter. Did the man dine and die alone? This single teacup suggests the answer. To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. The careful criminal could have absconded with his own cup to cover his tracks. Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the broken lock. Though forced open now, at the time of the incident, this door was locked. And the sole key was in the victim's pocket. In other words, when the victim consumed the poison, he must have been alone. Alone with his inferior soap, once wafted an inferior scent. And with that acrid aroma lingering in the air, the victim met his end in a tragic solitude. We can take comfort in the fact that his soul was well cleansed on its way to the hereafter. Okay. The problem is that Mr. Nutmeg is... He is like twitching. So something's going on there, that's for certain. There's just one thing, Mr. Sholmes. Are you disposed to identifying just one thing, aren't you, Miss Naroda? Pray, what concerns you? Well, no matter how hungry he was, do you really think the man would have eaten soap? It's quite apparent that this man was barely a penny to his name. It's a curious thing, but one so destitute soap can suddenly appear quite irresistible appetizing. Ugh. In truth, I have tried little soap myself in the past. You have eaten it, you mean? My dear fella, I was some time ago now. My postulation was that it would cleanse my gut.
Did it?
As I writhed in agony on the floor and spilled the content of my stomach, yes, I believe it did. Yuck. Also, thank you for giving me that insight, because then I know it was not because of the soap. Because I don't see anything of what he used to eat on the floor or the table. The experience taught me a valuable lesson. Soap is quite poisonous. It has an unpleasant taste and leads to great discomfort. In summary, I cannot recommend it. Believe me, I wouldn't eat it even if you did.
There's something that troubles me as well, actually.
Oh, what's that?
Mr. Natsume. I couldn't help noticing him shuddering and quivering out of the corner of my eye. Almost as if Mr. Sholmes' deduction touched a nerve somehow.
Nonsense! Well, that clenched teeth episode didn't last.
I think, judging by Mr. Natsume's reaction, the great detective deduction may need some gentle corrections in order to reach the actual truth.
Yeah, Mr. Sholmes' observation deductions are somewhat little too sharp. Ooh. He has a tendency to hit the nail on the side of the head and drive it in at an obtuse angle. When he does that, it falls to us to straighten things out. Alright then, let's see what we can do.
Yes, we must pick out the keywords in Mr. Sholmes' quite brilliant deduction, and discreetly exchanging them for something that makes a little more sense. If we can do that, I'm sure we'll arrive what Mr. Sholmes meant to say in the first place.
In that case, are you ready for a second performance of the day? Once again, my dear fellows, for you continue the delight and wonder, let the curtain rise. For Sherlock Sholmes, the logical and reasoning spectacular Act 1. Didn't we just do Act 1? Isn't we supposed to do Act 2? Or Act 1.5? I don't know. Okay. Careful observation of the victim reveals to us the event that it okay. Because he has something around his mouth. Next to the victim, we notice a large dining plate, which contains you will observe one half-sized bar of soap. That's so strange that soap. Last dish. The fork reveals the answer. I'm gonna take a little bit here because I just feel for it having something to nibble on. I can't deny that the fork is implies that it was about eat something or about was eating something or about to eat something. Sorry, I have to read there because something I had to like cut off. Yes, that's true. Were I to decide to eat soap, I would prefer to use a fork than attempt it with chopsticks. Well, you could still more or less impale it with 2 sticks anyway. And of course, only half of the bar of soap is left on the plate.
But might there not be some other explanation? Something material that proves whether or not the man actually ate some soap.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, found it. Yo, mate, I found the other half of the soap.
Take that!
Oh, look at that little mouse! Yo, that's adorable. Also, I'm not pressing anything. I don't even know if it's on autoplay. What's going on? Yo, adorable little mouse with flowery ears. Could it be that a man was about to eat it? Of course, the other piece of soap reveals the answer. It being the other half of soap on the table, in short, the victim was not eating the soap at all. But it's obvious really, for no death of hunger could drive a man to attempt to eat soap, but apparently curiosity or anything or something. I just love the little mouse up there. And also welcome, humble viewers, to the stream I'm holding. I just saw the number there now. Also, I can technically see the number here as well, but I sometimes really forget to put at the back to where it's supposed to be. I have to like clear out my stream deck because I have so much shit there I sometimes don't find and everything. Even I, with my incapable thirst of practical knowledge, took only a single bite. But that begs the question of how the man was poisoned, because there is no sign of any food on the table. An excellent observation, Miss Naruto. And one that furnishes us with the answer we seek. For London's foul soap is Bishmim. Yeah, okay, this is a rerun. I don't need to use voices for this. Nah, it's not the content of the plate, it's the content of the cup. Why did he have soap on the table? Especially while drinking tea.
Oh, of course. Food is the only thing that passes people's lips, is it?
Nope, because it's tea. I'm gonna see if we can. There we go.
Take that!
Mouse. I do love the mouse. The mouse is so adorable. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the teacup. Indeed. Cups have been the vessel of choice for practicing poisoners over the centuries. Either that or umbrellas. It would appear that this victim drank every last drop. There's no sign of food anywhere in the room. Which leads to the immutable conclusion. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to the ingestion of poison contained in the teacup. So it's still poison, but it's not from poisoning soap. Okay, so no possible perpetrator. That's the question. Is there, is there not? Because our friend over there, to the right, is rather twitchy of himself. This was Act 2. Okay. I was a bit questioned. The audience will recall that the death occurred in... Yeah. So for those of you here, I only do voices whenever there's something new going on. Ah, the Western vessel of infused hot drinks again. It's already featured heavily in our deduction so far.
Yes, we can imagine that shortly before his death, Mr. Shakespeare was having a drink of tea. There is nothing remarkable about that, but what troubles me is Mr. Natsuma's reaction when we heard Mr. Shom suggest it.
There's more to this deduction than it seems.
We must closely examine the scene of the crime again for some clues.
Just gonna check something here, just for interesting sake. That must be a goddamn bot. What the hell? Did the man die alone? The single teacup suggests the answer. We have 2 teacups. Well, so that's already cracked as well. Did the man die alone? There's other teacups suggest the answer. Yes, there was 2 teacups in this room all along. Ah. In other words, this is a strong indication that at the victim's last supper, there was a guest present. At the very least, we can say now with a certainty that somebody else wasn't here in this room last night drinking tea with a victim. What are you talking about? I am not gonna even try to do those. To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. In which case, what more can be deducted about this possible guest at the table? Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Oh, sorry. Cool. Do you mean to say you know exactly who was exactly in this room at the time of the victim's death? Indeed. What reveals the answer, of course, is the broken lock. Yeah, nah, because the broken lock was literally broken into this morning by Mr. Jiu-Jitsu back there. Well, you can try to ignore your feelings, but we cannot ignore the truth, Miss Naruto. No, I suppose not. Time to look around again. Okay. I would guess the books. Can I check the books? I'm gonna check the books first. At first glance, it seems that the only things in this room are makeshift stages and costumes. I overlooked these 3 books instantly. I wonder what they are. Let's see. The title reads "The Picture of Monsieur Lecoeur, Canterbury Yearnings, and A Meal of..." Yeah, those are the 3 books from the first game. Wait, I sure heard those titles before. It couldn't be an incredible coincidence, but they're the exact same books that Mr. Natsume purchased the other day. What? Yes, on the day of the unfortunate incident when Miss Green was stabbed. So Seki-san just had... yeah, so we know about that. I know these 3 titles are here in the room of the victim. Yet Miss Natsume claims never been here before. We're still gonna defend him, but god damn it.
Take that!
Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the pile of familiar books. Quite so. It's no coincidence that these 3 titles are here in the room. It's to link the truth. Miss Natsume, you purchased these books 4 days ago at the second-hand bookshop. It's just a coincidence. In that case, will you be able to bring the same 3 titles from your own room, will you not? This very moment. If you can't bring your own copies here, it proves that these 3 books are in fact yours. Well, that pose. Having purchased these books 4 days ago and returned to your lodgings, you were arrested the very next day. Why is he striking poses all the time? So you could conceivably have brought the books here on that evening, but you never mentioned that. In other words, you could have only brought these 3 books here to the victim's room. What the fuck? What the fuck did we just watch? And also, welcome, humble viewer, to the stream I'm holding. I'm trying to say that whenever I notice that someone comes in here. I might be late on that sometimes. I'm so into the games. I have the chat here, so I can at least see what people is chatting about. Or at least trying to. Sometimes I might miss something. In short, the only possible conclusion. The victim died here in the room last night as a result of poisoning. And the same night, the victim had a visitor. And that visitor was you, Mr. Suseki Natsume. Thus concludes the final act of Herlock Sholm's great deduction. Well, this is bad. Again, Jesus, this poor man. Like, just this poor man. Because we know he's a free man now, so still. Not again, not again, not again. Well then, Mr. Natsume. It would appear you have gone out to accompany me down to the yard again. But wait. Hold your horses. Yes? I think I more or less got most of what that meant. What? You think that's an alibi? You could have just made a copy. What? You live in the same building after all. You had plenty of opportunity, I'm sure. But... misery me. Sorry, sir. You'll get a chance to give your side of the story later. I'm gonna take another crisp. This fact speaks for himself, Mr. Mustache. You horrible Herlock Sholmes. Yes, because I think he's German. They cannot say Herlock, they say Herlock. Come now, no dilly-dally. Outside there is a carriage waiting. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I never imagined this position again, but you have to help me, please. Alright, I understand. We'll come to your cell later to talk about it. And one more thing. Yes? My poor little kitty cat. Please give him his breakfast for me. So what's Miss Natsume's cat that they took care of afterwards? His evil curse still apparently unbroken. Suseki's-san found himself once again the prime suspect in a case of murder. Thanks to the incriminating deduction of the great detective, and myself actually. My dear fellow, that honor belongs to you. It actually does, unfortunately. I wish it didn't, but it does. Well, at least that means Inspector Gregson is no longer here. We can examine the crime scene in more details now.
Yes, that's right. And of course, what? Have you forgotten what Inspector mentioned before? It was the landlord, Mr. Garridab, who discovered Mr. Shakespeare.
Ah, Mr. John Garridab, yes.
I expected we could find him in his sitting room on the top floor as usual.
Right, we must remember to go and talk to him later then. But first, time to investigate. I'm just gonna check if Sholmes is still here. Oh, I forgot. Wrong button. Yeah, we know he's an actor. We know about that at least. I know about that at least. It's kinda obvious we thought of the pun of his name. Oop.
Then you could practice your art every single day.
You're gonna wear a beard. I kind of want to see that as well. I thought she would more or less have a fake mustache on, to be honest. I'm kind of covering shit up, but it does seem that the whole scene is this thing, so I'm kind of fine with that. Okay, first of all, I'm very interested in whatever this is. What is that? What's this? I can see it on the screen there. I cannot see what it is for something. It looks like a part of an envelope, I think. Holy crap, that looks like either a thick or a large envelope.
Yes, I think you might be right. Perhaps it was torn off when the letter was opened.
Is it significant?
Well, it's a little out of place, perhaps, when you look around the room. There's no sign of a letter, or the rest of the envelope, in fact, is there?
Yeah, I thought it was glass or like a stone tablet or something. I thought like, what? Why is that in here? But nope, it's apparently a part of the envelope. I've heard, like, I know that sometimes when people open envelopes, they open it like this and like take the top off. But like that, or well, that, as you can see up there for your sake, I don't know, it's just like he bloody ripped the thing apart, just like.
It just struck me as unusual.
I agree. Yeah, it's a bit odd that it's just located in here. Look at these extravagant bright costumes. Somehow they look out of place in this room, with its grim shady going-ons.
This one looks like a king's attire.
A king? I always dreamt of being a king.
Oh, I think you'd be more suited for a feudal lord. A daimyo, or such like.
With a chronicles top knot, every Japanese man wishes he had a chronicles. Okay.
Oh, you look wonderful in one. And you already have the sword.
Can you imagine what would happen if I walked around the streets of London with a chronicles and a sword? Technically already walking around with the sword, so the top knot is probably not the worst thing ever.
The poor man, so young to die. Do you suppose this was a very painful death, being poisoned as he was?
I don't know. All we can do is hope that he'll be reborn to a better life.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I wonder. Do you think that putting our hands together in a Japanese prayer will help a British soul?
Sorry?
I be sure I had reference of the ready just such an occasion as this, actually. This book is entitled A Beginner's Guide to Praying for the Departed, the British Way.
Okay, sure.
I just reread it now. One moment.
There's quite a spine on that book, isn't there? Holy crap. The British Way. And here we have another disproportional large machine that just looks like a meter of some kind.
Ah, this is a gas meter, I think. It says that this district residents pay for gas as they use it with coins.
I see. Yes, now you pointed out. I see there's a slot just here, just like you would take a coin. Used there be stuff like that? Seriously, I know, like, I've seen stuff about like gas meters, and like when they check the gas meters, literally just like, oh, we have seen this now, this is how much you pay and stuff. But like, seriously, did they used to have coin slots?
That's right. That would buy you about 2 hours of gas for lights and heating.
So if you were a poor person with no money, you'd have to sleep in the freezing cold.
Yes, or if you were a scatterbrain with no charge because you forgot to exchange your money at the bank.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, especially with the whole window tax that actually existed. Thank God that there's no meter in our office. I have never heard about that before.
As we seen from our outside, the window system came completely bricked up. A vestige of the former window tax that the Bristol had to pay.
Oh yeah, apparently they were absolutely chaotic. Like, no joke. Jesus. I mean, making people pay for the number of windows they had in a property is extraordinary.
It's heartbreaking to think that the poor having to block up their window just to avoid unaffordable taxes. Oh.
What is it, Mrs. Sato?
If you look closely, a number of the bricks are loose.
Soap! Why the hell is he hiding soap there? Yes, it looks though an amateur has broken out of a few of them here. Was Mrs. Shakespeare who did this? I wonder, being the lodger renting this room.
Look at this, Mr. Naruto. On the outside there's a little ledge. And there's something on it.
Well, what's outside? Hello, can I please check that? I saw 2 bars of soap. Oh, it's cold outside. You can feel it through this gap. It did snow last night. It would be cold. But more importantly, what is on the ledge out there? What are those 2 snow-covered lumps?
It's more bars of soap.
Soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on the ledge outside the window?
I have no idea. But a pair of them seem rather charming like that.
Still, it's very strange, isn't it? Bars of soap lined up outside the window. I think perhaps we should take one. There are 2 after all.
Oh dear, I suppose we could. Oh, what's this? Look here at this soap. You see in the middle there? There's a patch that's different color. It's sort of transparent, but
some sort of fancy design, I suppose, only in Great Britain.
It looks like the Hinamoto flag of Japan, doesn't it? How wonderful.
It actually does. It's probably a very
expensive brand.
Expensive? Then what is doing in this ramshackle old room? It's not in the room, it's by the window. Okay, that's hella fucking strange. Okay. I'm just checking stuff I cannot check because of the chat and stuff in being a bit in the way. This is a gas wall light, isn't it? It's been connected to a gas pipe in the wall.
Gas lights, a gas stove. London really is a city of gas.
But now that I think about it, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb had an open fire on the top floor, didn't they?
Oh yes, you're right. I don't recall seeing a gas stove up there.
Well, I much prefer a real fire anyway, it's much cozier. And less expensive. Have we checked everything on yet? No, not this thing.
There's not much of these on these shelves, is there? Just this wine glass and bottle. And both of them are cracked.
Yeah, there's not much to use, are there? Fuck, I don't know why I'm so tired lately, Jesus. What's the matter?
Oh, I was just reminded of the Reaper, that's all.
Prosecutor Lord Van Six.
Yes, he's so reckless with his wine glasses. I was thinking it was a waste that he should donate some to the needy.
You can suggest it in the next time we meet. It's kind of true, like, it breaks those glasses like he has at least thousands of them. Like, holy crap. Also, I do not see much more I can check here. Oh, other than the cup, of course.
Ah, one of the teacups of Mrs. Shakespeare and his guest drank from last night. But going drinking from them is no. But don't go drinking from the Naruto. They're bitter poison inside.
I'm not planning on drinking any, don't worry. Anyway, the cups are both empty.
That's true, so one of them was the Mrs. Shakespeare's. And the other must be the cup that Miss Natsume was drinking from.
But Soseki-san wasn't poisoned, of course. Perhaps we should take these two so we can examine them in more detail later. I'm gonna already examine them, if I can. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna examine them because I can, I want to. Oh, look at this. Holy hell, this is a hefty thing. Open this envelope, didn't bother with a letter or scissors, did they?
Yes, whoever opened it was clearly someone with an unrefined temperament. And judging from the angle of the rip here, the person in question must have been right-handed.
You can never read too much of it. She really loves reading that. Also, what is this thing?
This part is different color. It's an exquisite design, isn't it?
Trust the British to turn a boring bar of soap into something special.
I quite like it. Reminds me of the...
Yeah, you said that before.
I expect this is rather expensive soap.
What is that? Could it be that he just like... No, I thought that this perhaps was the poison. But I think this is something else. I think this guy was like smuggling something or whatnot. Okay, so we have a left-handed person and a right-handed person. Why I know that? Because I can see the lip thing around here. And if I held with my right hand, there would be lip marks here. But if I did with the right hand on this cup, there would be here, but there isn't. There is only here. Also, this has something within it. This may be the cup Mr. Shakespeare was drinking from then. It's stained on the inside.
Tea does that, I'm afraid. Even green tea.
Oh really? I've never noticed before.
You never noticed?
Well, I never leave it in the cup long enough to leave a mark. I like to gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot. That's the Japanese way, isn't it?
Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture. And most of them are Japanese.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a mark in here.
This is the teacup from which Mr. Natsuma was drinking.
Yes, unlike the other one, the inside of this cup is completely clean.
Suppose Mr. have drunk the content before the tea had a chance to leave a mark.
Always gulp it down too.
Sorry, Mr. Rudo?
Well, if you just sip it little by little, it goes cold.
Clearly I should have to have instructed you the proper way to drink tea.
That's a bit odd then. We already know about the map of the place here. And we already know about the books as well. Hello! Yeah, we'd really like to snoop. Inspector Gregson, back so soon. After threw that little Japanese fella in the clink, I went and reported this to the investigation division. In 5 minutes time, this place will be condoned off by the yard. Oh, I see. Well, we better leaving then.
Poor Miss Natsume must be feeling very low, being back in a cell again so soon.
Oh! The fucker is alive! I just saw the fork. I was like, oh, why the hell did the fork drop to the floor? I just see the bloody guy just rising up from the dead. Hello, Mr. Zombie.
What's wrong, Miss Naruto?
Simple. The fucking guy is alive. Oh, well, he's alive, but he's fucking dying. Out breathe candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player. That Struts and Forette is out upon stage, and then is heard no more. Now, how sounded the next part? It's a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, significantly nothing. Indeed, oh happy day. I knew something like that would fucking happen. I knew that would happen. After he just rise up and those rings around I literally knew that he would stand up, I would just die on the spot. Also, goddamn that right leg of his. Holy shit, it's bent the wrong way. What the fuck just happened? Holy shit, his leg. How in the hell is... Walking Dead! Oh yeah, it's just... What the hell was that? Mate, is he alive? The fella isn't dead at all? What was that nonsense he was saying, though? I do love she tried to pull the book out of his sleeve, but she doesn't have a sleeve like that anymore.
Yes, it was William Shakespeare's Macbeth.
Oh, I thought he was a pun of Shakespeare. It technically is a pun of Shakespeare, but just like Sherlock Holmes is a pun of Sherlock Holmes, there is not another Sherlock Holmes here. Okay. I know so much about I don't know anything about Macbeth.
From Act 5, Scene 5.
Shakespeare. That's schools for you. Yeah, well, we didn't really learn stuff like that, but at the same time, Shakespeare was British. I hope at least I'm right now when I say he's British. It wouldn't surprise me if you learn about him. We ourselves here, not much about that.
That the victim, Mr. William
Oh, probably it's my voice. That the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, came back to life. If the man had indeed been poisoned, it transpired that it hadn't killed him. He was taken by emergency carriage to a nearby hospital for treatment. And Inspector Gregson evicted us from the scene of the crime, whatever that now was. What the hell? This guy just rose up to fucking dead. Oh, that's the dude from the last time as well.
Whatever do you think will happen now?
Good question. That's a strange situation for Miss Natsume. Arrested for murder, but then the victim comes back to life. Out damned spot out, I said, among various other quotes that have been ingrained into my brain. Oh goodness gracious. I about to say goodness street because I literally see streets, the street sign up there.
It is very likely that Mr. Shakespeare did consume poison, as we deduced. But it was an accident, attempt suicide, or attempt murder. Until the truth can be established, I imagine the police will keep Miss Natsume in custody.
I suppose so. Let's hope it doesn't come to anything more than a night in itself. Also, it's kind of interesting that each time he is taken in by someone because of suspected murder, they always end up being alive still. So, it feels like all the luck he has, he brings upon others and gain the bad luck himself. What's that man doing over there? I looks like he's trying to see into Suzuki-san's lodgings.
Is something wrong, Miss Naruto?
Excuse me, can I have a word? Whoa, what the hell happened with your face there? And he's off. His head just like started shaking frantically. What the fuck was that?
I feel sure I've seen that mom somewhere before. Where was it?
4 days ago, if that was the time. No, 3 days ago. We thought of he bought the books 4 days ago. We met him and Shakespeare outside just here. So we know all. I know all about that. Also, I can see some soap. I'm gonna take some soap. With the exception of the top floor, where Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb lives, all the windows are bricked up.
Yes, that's because of the old window tax that was charged on the number of windows a property had. In order to pay less tax, the poorer members of society filled many of their windows.
But the tax has since been abolished, hasn't it? So the windows could be opened up again, surely.
Unfortunately, it would appear that the residents of this district can't afford to pay to have the work done.
Yes, that is a sad state of affairs.
Especially for people like poor Miss Natsumi who have to live all cooped up in a windowless room.
I suppose that's the price you have to pay for living in a cheap accommodation.
It all seems rather pointless when you put it out like that.
Also, I wasn't checking the window. I checked a bar of soap, but apparently one bar of soap is enough for us. I don't think there's much more to check here, actually. We have still this thing here. Well, I guess we can move on. Oh, wait, we're gonna talk to Gary Deb, actually. We did discuss we're gonna do that. Okay, hello, Mr. Moonface. Here we are again, the eccentric landlord's eccentric top floor abode.
We're here because Mr. Gary Deb's the one who discovered the incident this morning. Don't forget.
Ah, Jewish shops, eh?
Yes, good morning, sir.
Thank you for your cooperation in court yesterday.
It was quite a trial. As much for Mr. Gary Debs as anyone, really.
I came straight back after here all that business at the Bailey's yesterday. Didn't expect to wake up to more bally nonsense this morning.
I wonder if you wouldn't mind telling us exactly what happened, Mr. Gary Deb.
Ah yes, I suppose I'd like to know all about that dead loss of an actor chap in the ground floor room.
Those were exactly Inspector Gregson's word, weren't they? So something tells me he wasn't really a good actor then. Or might have been a good actor, but just not hired often. Trying to converse. So the morning's accident then. It must have been a real shock for you this morning. I heard that you discovered what happened.
Oh well, that hopeless actor chap rises at 5 o'clock sharp each morning without fail. But at 5:30 this morning, he still hadn't lit the gas. So I went down and knocked on his door, but no bally answer.
And that's when you broke into his room by kicking down the door.
Well, I called it.
Oh, chili pepper. Yeah, this allows me to drink much whenever I eat these. They literally are a new taste, by the way. I just wanted to taste them. Pretty good, but fucking hell.
Well, I called on that rum-looking Japanese chap to do the groundwork, of course.
Wasn't it a little premature to kick the door down? The man could just have overslept by half an hour.
That's very true, Miss Naruto. If 30 minutes oversleeping warranted such behavior, I had to kick your down every morning.
Well, better to be safe than sorry and all that.
It's just me, he's avoiding the gaze all of a sudden. Yeah, he's sweating.
Except that it was a sorry situation indeed that you found on the other side of the door.
So, Mr. Shamswear, do you know the man? The victim's name is Mr. Shamswear. I believe, is that right?
Yes, William Shamswear. Took the ground floor room 3 months ago now.
And how would you describe him?
In a word, destitute.
Destitute?
Well, let's face it. The only redeeming feature of that room is the cheap rent. Anyone wanting to live in a place like that is either broke or has a bally screw loose.
Oh, hold on, I have a hair in my eye. So hard to choose which category Suseki-san would fall into.
Mr. Hudu, that's a little rude.
How are they capable of reading my mind? Like, I know there was a lot of joke of psychic in Danganronpa, but bloody hell, these people literally read my mind.
He was doing research as well.
Research on what?
Shakespeare, of course. Shakespeare. Read a few plays of the old barn myself, you know. Romeo and Hamlet and all that. That would be an absolute great thing to hear, because I believe that in that times, if anyone would actually be two guys liking each other, that would be a bad situation. So I would have no problem with actually that existing. Romeo and Hamlet.
Yes, William Shakespeare is England's most highly regarded classical playwright and author. He's known as Sao in Japanese, as you know, and many of his works have already been translated.
It seems incredible that Shakespeare was shortened to Sao, though. Someone was too heavy-handed there. There were a lot of costumes in the victim's room, actually, weren't there? At the same time, they saying that just shortening it to Sao is rather like heavy-handed. They literally just call the other guy we have here Saucy Nutmeg. It's not even close.
Of course, Miss Natsumi is a scholar of English literature as well. I imagine he and Mr. Shamsbury would have had much in common.
Shakespeare interpretation disagreement leads to shocking murder. Let's hope it's not that.
Miss Naruhodo, really? How rude.
Again, how do you read my mind? Is it my face or something? Am I literally like just saying no words but moving my mouth or something? After Natsuma's trial yesterday, you came straight back here, I believe, didn't you? Did you notice anything strange between them and this morning? Then and this morning? Well now, it must have been about 6 in the evening by the time I got home. Snow was coming down rather heavily, as I remember, and it was completely dark already. That failed actor chap was out at the time. Mr. Garrett noticed there was no light from his room or something, I suppose. I couldn't summon the energy for anything much, so I just sat in front of the fire up here. It was after 8 before Schrampswer got back, and the chap was up until past 1 in the morning, I'll have you know. I suppose he met his end sometime after that. I was asleep by then, so I'm rather in the dark there.
Well, thank you. That was very illuminating. Is everything alright, Mrs. Suto?
Well, I was just thinking, it's a little strange, that's all. Mr. Garrideb, you were up here in your room all evening, if I've understood correctly.
Not a big fan of stairs, not with this blasted leg.
Then, how is it that you seem to know? The precise moment of your attendance on the ground floor, I mean.
Yeah, it's a bit true, actually. Or like looking out the window, just like, well, there you are. That's a very good point. I can't imagine that you could hear noises from the ground floor all the way up here. Does this old man like to spy on his tenants? Is that it?
Say, I know what you're thinking. It's about the outrage and ex-military, you know. I don't go around spying on my tenants, wouldn't I?
Then how did you know, Mr. Garrideb?
It's the gas woman. The gas tells me everything.
The gas? I mean, he must like check the gas thing and like, okay, so they're done that now, they're done that now. What on earth do you mean, sir? How can the gas tell you anything, let alone everything?
Well, as you probably are aware, the gas is supplied to the building by pipes.
Yes, I'd more or less worked that out. Nah, they use hot air balloons. They sell balloons outside the window and just buy them in bunch. Suck it out like helium. That probably would not be a good idea, because holy crap, you would probably die of poisoning as well. But Jesus. I've never done that, actually. I'm pretty certain it's bad for your vocal cords, but like, I've never done that just because of that.
Every room in the building is connected by a single pipe to the gas main outside.
Helium. I have never done it with helium. Never done gas either. I don't like gas. I'm like my mother. I don't like the whole gas thing. They have a gas for the RV, but my father fixes that, so I don't care. But yeah, helium. The only thing I can remember each time I think about that is when two classmates had two helium balloons and just sucked it up and just become like chipmunks. I have chipmunks, but my voice mod is like acting up right now, so I cannot bring it up. But at that time, we had something our school did. So each student got a balloon and put a little letter in the balloon, like, "Hi, if you get this, could you send a letter to this place?" So we actually just fling the balloons upwards, and after a while we got letters, and we actually healing before. A lot of fun. We're near like 10. Yeah, I think I was around 10 as well at that time when we did that. So yeah, after a while we just got letters like, "Hi, I am actually from this part of Sweden, so I sent you this letter to tell you that I actually got one of the balloons." So we had this little map, and we literally just like, "Oh, there was one of the balloon. There is another balloon, there is another balloon, and there is another balloon." I don't remember fully how far they actually got, but that was pretty interesting, actually. I don't think they still do that, though. I don't know. Yes, I understand that too. Well, let me see if I can explain. Let's say I was to light the gas lamps up here. What do you suppose would happen? Well, obviously the room would get brighter. Well, exactly. But at the same time, the lights in all other rooms of the house would dim for a moment. What? They dim? Why? Perhaps it's because when you light gas lamps, it briefly uses more gas than usual. And that reduces the amount of gas in the pipes for the other lamps are connected to it. Oh, I saw something about... Hold on. Oh, I don't remember what it's called. Fuck. I need to find it. I need to find it because it's kinda cool looking. I don't think I would be able to make one, even though I've seen people make those. But they are so cool. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find it. So I need to go to tested, Adam Savage tested. I have to find the Christmas gifts. Ah, there we have that, the Secret Santa. And I have to go down. I have to look for... Oh, what the hell are they called? Hold on. No, no. No, wait, this is tested. This is the wrong thing. Ah, there's the playlist. They have a playlist of this. There, Music with Fire. So he makes a... I don't know what it's called. But he literally causes music with fire. Hold on, I'm actually gonna bring this up here a bit quick for you to see, because this is actually kind of cool looking. So I'm gonna do display capture. Also, you can see the chat. Yeah, that's what I have whenever I play the Switch games and stuff. We can put that over here for right now. So they had apparently Secret Santa thing, so different makers from YouTube got together and made something for each other. And this guy, who is the Hacksmith Industries, made this. So he uses some gas, which I don't remember what gas it is, and just pours it in here and just put it on fire. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, so he literally has these two speakers for music. So whenever he tries now the frequency generator, do you see his telephone and the lights? So this will actually jump in the beat of the music. Because the speakers on the side has like these bass speakers on the bottom, apparently said, and it causes it to push the air. They are cool looking as hell, to be honest. I kinda would want to have one in the future. But it literally just like causes the air inside to just being pushed, which causes him to push outside. So when you have music on, it will literally just beat to the music. It's so freaking cool looking though. It's amazing. And that was also homemade. I have actually a diploma for doing like metal constructions like that. So who knows, if I ever get shit like that, I might be able to make something. But also, it's kind of fucking expensive, so probably not. That reduces them, yeah. But just the talk of gas reminded me of that, because that's so cool looking. It has a little gas bottle underneath it as well. Just connect it in there, hiding it underneath, and it's just standing there, just lighting like, ah, that's so freaking nice. Like, I'm not a pyroman, but to be honest, I sometimes do like a rather nice looking fire. Candle, a little fireplace, doesn't matter. A little fire is kind of nice now and then. As long as it's not a house fire though. I barely got any gas in them to start with. The opposite's also true, of course. Extinguishing the lamps up here and they glow brighter on the rest of the house. Alright, I see. So by watching the flickering of the lamps in one room, you can determine what's happening elsewhere. You got it! To be honest, I cannot complain about that, because spying is one thing. And spying would mean you know what they're doing, when they're doing it, and how they're doing it. But literally just sitting up here with a little gas lamp on, and just seeing, oh, it flickered. Okay, that must mean that someone is back now. That's like, I cannot call that like spying. That's literally more like, oh, okay, now something has happened.
What they're guaranteed to do is either light or put out their lamps and fires.
Clever.
In point of fact, the rooms underground and the ones above is use slightly different amount of gas. By watching the lights here closely, I can work out almost exactly what's going on in the whole house.
Gosh, that's fascinating, Mr. Garydeb. Absolutely fascinating.
Oh well, nothing to it really.
And I can't really see that it's going to help us with the case either. What I'd like to know is why Mr. Garydeb is so interested in what his tenants are up to in the first place. I feel like there's more than idle curiosity. Well, we've done as much investigating as we can, I think. Perhaps we ought to go to the prison and speak with Mr. Natsume again.
A good idea.
I am so certain actually something's happening in the corner of my eye, because I'm pretty certain the activity feed now and then literally just updates or something. And I think that's what's causing my eyes to just go there, because it's like, oh, something's happening on the screen. But it's nothing new there, it's just like something. Because in the beginning of the stream, I'm pretty certain it did flicker. Because I was looking at the screen. But I don't know.
Look, Miss Naruto.
Also, it's snow outside. I'm pretty cold. I just realized what bloody shoes he has. Are you barefoot, mate? How can you not die of a goddamn cold? My god.
Welcome, student, Mr. Naruto Esquire.
Yes?
What is it? Tell me. Is he a ghost? Is he here to haunt me?
Let me guess. You're talking about Mr. Shones. Oh, god.
He actually calls himself a great detective, Miss Natsume, not a ghost.
But his diabolic deductions. They're not of this world. They have left me. Ah, cursed! I am cursed, I tell you.
Well, that sort of hurts.
Credits where credits is due, Miss Naruto. You were heavily involved in the deduction too.
Yes, moving on. We have some wonderful news.
Oh?
The victim that we all thought was dead has come back to life again.
Now, in the absolutely worst case, you could only be tried for attempt murder. That's great, isn't it, Mr. Natsume?
It's terrible. I am not gonna try to say whatever you said there. You did it, didn't you? Confess, you're a killer. Why the mustache? Yeah, why the mustache? Am I saying? Constant questions. What's wrong with a mustache? Wait, doesn't Gregson have a mustache? Hold on. I'm pretty certain I can see Gregson here. Yeah, he has a mustache. Wait, this guy also has a mustache. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, selfish sister. I don't know what that is, but I think it just, I don't know what. Make up your mind. Are you dead or alive? If you were going back to life, why bothering dying? Heh? Why, if you would come back to life, why bother dying? That's kinda true as well. But still, okay. And also, welcome, Mumble Viewer, to the stream I'm holding. I'm just playing some The Great Ace Attorney because I finished the other game that was almost done for in about 30 minutes. So I was kinda in a panic state of trying to find another game to play. A lovely day, but last night was much fun. I'd be sad to think it was our last. Oh. Oops. Mr. Tsume, does this mean that you did see the victim last night? You messed with Mr. Shapeswear, didn't you? I'm not saying another word. I demand you to have a lawyer present. Why do you who do you think I am? Please, Mr. Tsume, we need to hear your side of the story. I need a lawyer in here. Have a great look at me? Why am I cursed like this? I have no idea. Okay, so what happened? Can you tell us exactly what happened last night then, Miss Natsume? There's nothing to tell. But, Mr. Naruto, Esquire, I'm eternally grateful for what you helped me with that accursed case yesterday. The case that saw poor Miss Green hospitalized after she ended up with a knife in her back. By mistake, apparently. It's hard to believe that was only yesterday. After the trial was over, I trudged my very way back to my lowly lodgings. And that evening, at past 9, it must have been, I visited Mr. Shapeswear. So you did go to the victim's room then? As we feared. I didn't do anything wrong. I've never been to this room before. It was the first time. Then what made you decide to go? I bumped into him when I arrived back at the house. We got us chatting and it developed into discussion. But he had to go out, so I bade him farewell. That ties with what Mr. Garrideb said, that the victim went out and came back after 8. We met again later that evening at around 9 or just after. When I took him some nice tea I'd brewed as a gift. So it was you who brought the tea that had clearly been drunk at the scene then? I suppose you were discussing the works of Shakespeare, weren't you? Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. Romeo and Juliet. Who was the stronger? It was a delightful debate. I'm sure. I'm just checking the time a bit. Such stimulating subject, Shakespeare. That at least can say. I'm not gonna do the other weird things he says sometimes, like Jesus. And the debate became very heated, so you slipped poison to Mr. Shakespeare's tea? No, never, not at all. Team Juliet won, that was me. And when I left his room, the flamboyant fellow was fighting fit, I swear it. Categorically. Okay, that's interesting. So, what about this curse of yours? Yeah, that I think I actually have heard. I don't think I've heard it from school, but I'm pretty certain I've heard it from like the television and stuff, because even though shows and other things are fake, they do have to tend to have some sort of true things in them, especially stuff like that. And I am absolutely certain I've heard that thing about my bet before.
Isn't it like mostly just bad luck in theater? Not like bad luck like as a black cat crossing the road. It's more or less like saying break a leg in a theater, because you don't say that. No, you say break a leg, you don't say good luck. That's something I'm pretty certain there is. I don't know. Mr. Natsume, you often say the same thing about yourself, I noticed. That you have a cursed existence.
Yeah, I'm sure I've mentioned this to you before, but I have been here in Great Britain for years now. And in that time I've learned it's not the place for me. It can be very trying to live in a foreign land and adapt to the ways of another culture. There's a foreigner everywhere I look, and they all stare at me, they all laugh. That's the impression I get whenever I go out. It makes me scared to leave my room. Which is why I became a recluse. But even in my room, I feel no respite from my fears. I moved more times than I can remember. And then 1 week ago I moved into Briar Road.
But why? I mean, did you choose that place? It doesn't seem very comfortable.
Because the rent is cheap. I have so little money it spoke to me.
The rent?
Obviously, there's a reason for why it's cheap. Because the room is cursed.
Cursed? Cursed how?
The previous occupant, the man who lived there before me in the room, died there.
Oh no.
He was only a young man, but one morning was found dead and no one could explain why.
Surely no one would want to live in a room with a history like that.
No, I didn't. When letting agent recommended the place, I wavered. But I want books, and books cost money. A horrible history is a small price to pay. When I realized it would mean I could buy more books, I signed the lease like a lightning.
Brave or blinkered?
But after I moved in, soon I came to realize what I've done. I realized how horrible that room is. History really was.
Gosh, was it really so awful?
I think I'm actually gonna talk more about that horrible history in the next one. So yes, I am actually gonna end my stream here. I think I